Hi everyone, thanks for tuning into my channel, Huub Hildenbrand Guitar Academia. Today we will talk about the position, the term, what does it mean on the guitar, on the fretboard, position, like the strict position and area. Because I use it in a very specific way here on this Guitar Academia channel in my approach, and yeah, so I want to explain that, and it's about like playing something in certain like areas or positions, so that the hand is at a certain place on the fretboard, and then it can play there like whatever, like arpeggio, scale, yeah, pentatonic, whatever. And there's also a PDF down in the description below. You should download, would be really cool. Also, it supports this channel, of course, but you find like also this little example here in notation and some explanations. Maybe I don't. I will not actually. No, I will not talk about everything here. So it would be wise to download this PDF if you're interested in this subject, to really understand. Maybe yeah, decide for yourself, of course. All right. So what is a position? And this actually is something I learned from Mick Goodrick. He also had this topic in his book, The Advancing Guitarist, which is a really great book. And I had also lessons with him at Berklee College of Music in Boston. And the idea about the strict position, he just calls them position, but I make a kind of a different differentiation here. So it's a strict position means that your hand is really locked into one place on the guitar. And this place, just a few things are possible. For example, if I'm in the second position, I put my hand here where the first finger plays everything what's played in the second fret. The second finger plays everything what has to be played in the third fret. The third finger plays every note which has to be played in the fourth fret. And the fourth finger is responsible for everything played in the fifth fret. So now you could say actually, okay, that's clear. The first finger defines that it's in which position it is. So it's in second position. That means the first finger is in the second fret, and every other finger is following. That is actually not true, because the first finger also, when still staying in that second position, can also stretch to the first fret. So I'm in the second position, but I'm also allowed, without moving my hand, so I don't have to move my hand actually, I can also stretch to the first fret. And my fourth finger can also stretch here to the sixth fret. So I can also play notes with my fourth finger, with my little finger in the sixth fret when I'm in the second position. Only my second and my third finger, they have to stay, because if I play with my second finger somewhere else, I'm losing my position, and the same with a third finger. Yeah, so actually we can say the second position, like the strict position, is really defined by fingers 2 and 3. And I can say, okay, the second position is defined by the second finger plays only in the third fret. Yeah, that's my, actually that would be like one that would be then everything else would be like if I keep that kind of a position and my second finger is always only playing the notes in the third fret, then I'm in the second position. Or I can say my third finger is playing all the notes in the fourth fret and my hand stays there. So that way I also make sure that I'm actually in the second position. Or I can say my first finger in the second position, my first finger plays usually, maybe I can say, in the second fret, but also is allowed to stretch to the first fret. So when I'm in the second position, in the strict second position, then I have 4 different shapes my left hand can have. One shape is this shape, yeah. So on every adjacent fret there is a finger, yeah, which is the most natural, easy position, of course, the easiest shape, and also this kind of an area, this kind of a space here is also the space I approximately can focus when I look at it. Yeah, everything else gets already a bit blurred. So I'm really seeing this position, and that is really the excerpt of the whole fretboard, which I'm really now can see and play and think and visualize and whatever. So another shape would be this shape, yeah, where I have just a stretch of the first finger. Another shape would be this shape, where I have a stretch of my fourth finger, and I have the possibility also to have this very much stretched shape where I can play my first finger in the first fret and my small finger, little finger, in the sixth fret. So this is also a kind of fourth, yeah, the span of a fourth. Actually, like a strict position has on one string the span of a fourth. Okay, now when I stay in this strict position the whole time and I play all possible notes in that position, it would be like that. It goes like that. Yeah, so my hand is really all the time in that position. It's really locked here. So the span of the whole range I can cover in that second position now is actually this. Yeah, it's like a perfect fourth plus 2 octaves. That's the complete range. And you already heard it and you know it, that this note is actually the same as this, and this is the same as this, and that is the same as that, and this is the same as this, and it's the same as this, and this is the same as this note. So one very important thing you should know is that you can play the whole chromatic scale in that second position. Yeah, from there to there you can play the whole chromatic scale. And there's in the PDF you find a notation of exactly doing that. I go up with using my first finger stretches and go down with using my little finger stretches. Yeah. Now, because in the second position I have all possible notes, even I have some notes twice, and some notes twice. I can play anything in one position. And by anything, I mean any scale, heptatonic, pentatonic, octatonic, whatever, every kind of an arpeggio, 4-note arpeggio, 3-note arpeggio, every melodic interval, everything I can play in one position. So I can play, for example, I can play any major scale in the second position. I can say, okay, C major scale, F major scale, B flat major scale, no, E flat major scale, A flat major scale, thinking a bit, D flat major scale, G flat major scale, B major scale, E major scale, A major scale, D major scale, G major scale, and the whole, I played now all possible major scales and played the cycle 4, so in the, like always going perfect higher, perfect up, perfect fourth up to the next major scale. And so I'm on G now, and I would go, if I would go another perfect fourth up, I would come back to C major. So I played all major scales in the second position. Now, because everything is possible in the second position, actually everything is possible in every position. And by every position, I mean that we can just shift to the next position here. We can go from the second position to the third position. And in the third position, everything, like every major scale and so on, every arpeggio is also in the third position. And everything is also in the fourth position. So we go up and up, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So this is our 13th fret. And I'm thinking like always, because in the second, I'm thinking like there are 12 like strict positions, and there is an open position. An open position is really unique to every scale or arpeggio or whatever what I play, because I'm also using open strings. And these open strings, of course, vary when I transpose the whole thing. So when I go from C major to D flat major, suddenly I do not have any open strings anymore in D flat major. Okay, but in C major I have all 6 open strings. So when playing the C major open position, then I play. So actually with the open position is actually the first position, and my first finger stretches I don't have to do, because there my open strings are. And also mostly like I do not have, yeah, I don't have to make any stretch of the fourth finger, only on the high E string to reach my A, because when I do a fourth finger stretch, I'm reaching always like either the open string, the next higher adjacent string open, so A here would be my A string, or I stretch to C, and the C I already have here anyway. Yeah, so in an open position, the only on the high E string, a fourth finger stretch could be necessary. Yeah, if I have an A, it's only for the A actually. It's only the A. So if my scale, my arpeggio, or anything has an A, and I play in an open position, then I need this. If I play the whole range, of course. So that's why the first position is also the open position. I can't do any first finger stretches. That's why I do not really count it. When I'm thinking about like real strict positions without open strings, so the open position is something special. So when I just real positions without open strings, I go directly to the second position, because that's my lowest position where I can also have first finger stretches. So no open strings, so I have this space here. And in these strict positions, only in the open position, I'm also allowed to use open strings. All other positions, I do not. Yeah, all other positions use stretches and no open strings, and they are just always like movable. I can just move the whole thing, exactly what I just played, to any other fret and have the same structure transposed. So no open strings. So my second position is, you can say, is my first real strict position. So that's why I go up. That's you can say it's my first position. Yeah, my first real strict position. First, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I have only 12 notes in our equal 12-tone temperament. So when I go up 12 positions, I'm landing here on position 13, which equals actually the first position, but which is not using these open strings because it's so high here. And so I have actually these 12 positions, yeah, always like the second and until the 13th. And if I go higher to the 14th, of course, then it's just a repeat of the third and so on. So the whole thing repeats because the notes are just repeating after 12. Of course, it makes sense also to practice things higher because it looks really different and it feels really different and the frets are more together and everything. So it's not that you don't need to practice like anything here in this region because you already practiced it there. Of course not. So you can also go through all the positions and play the C major scale. Yeah? So second position, C major scale. Now I can go to the third position and I play the C major scale. Almost. Then I go to the fourth position. Yeah? And the fifth position. Sixth position. Seventh position. Eighth position. Ninth position. Tenth position. 11th position. 12th position. 13th position. Yeah, then I start with the second position again. Okay, how do you do that? How? I mean, it's. I think it's quite impossible, or at least it makes no sense to learn 12 strict positions by shape, by memory, by finger memory or anything. So you have to have a different approach to that. And the approach I'm taking, of course, is I say, don't move your hand and just play the notes of the C major scale. So I have to know the notes. I have to know where my notes are. I have to know that that was an E. Now I have to go to F, and where is the F, and so on. So I have to really know my notes. And that's also my spellings, of course. And that's something, of course, I'm not practicing that anymore. There was a time, actually, I remember, I think before I studied like in Rotterdam, there was like a summer holidays. And I was already in Holland, and then there was a kind of a balcony. I was sitting every day and practice all these strict positions. I don't know actually why I did that, but maybe it helped me for this lesson. I don't know. It's just it's like maybe some kind of a medicine you can take from time to time. You just take something, maybe also an arpeggio or any scale, and just play like all different kinds of scales of any root in one position, or go through the whole fretboard, but while keeping the same scale all the time. What I just did with C major scale. That is something you can do like just from time to time, and this also of course enforces your brain to do something. Okay. Now you know what are strict positions and what is the open position. Now, when normally we find like these typical like guitar books where you find all these fingerings, all these there, it's always said that's the position, like positions, like the 5 positions of C major. Then that is actually something people made up. Yeah, it's not some basic rule. That's the way it goes. Yeah, the fingering is like that, and there in this book is a different fingering. That's wrong. No, it's something people made up, and what you can also make up. And the idea, let's talk about the benefit of these five areas. I call them areas because they are not strict positions anymore. Some are also falling together with strict positions, but some go out. And what means go out? Means I have to shift my hand a bit. This is something I can't do in the strict position. And also you have to know anything, anywhere I'm playing anything, if I just go there with my second finger, that means already I'm in 8th position. So you are always in one of these 12 positions, or maybe in open position. So that's something you should know. So when you play like what I just did, when you play the C major scale in all positions, open position and the 12 strict positions without open strings, then you practiced every note on every string with every finger. Yeah? If I play my C major scale in In the 5th position, for example, I play my C with my small finger. If I'm in the 6th position, I play my C with the 3rd finger. If I'm in the 7th position, I play my C with the 2nd finger, or in the 8th with my 1st finger, or in the 9th with my stretched 1st finger, or also I can play in the 4th position, I can also play it with my 4th stretched finger. Yeah? So actually I have like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 fingerings for that one note. And when I have all these 12 positions, then when I go through them, then I made sure every finger, every note, every string covered. We will come to that later, because why that is so important or so cool to have and to know. Let's first talk about areas. Areas are these more loose positions, you can say, where you are maybe in one position, but you also can branch out just a little bit. The cool thing about the areas that you normally come up with just 5. So 5 are easier to remember, of course, than 12 plus 1 or 12. And the idea of these 5 positions, yeah, when you take anything what you have maybe from a book like scale positions on the fretboard, then you see that they are actually, at least they should overlap. So the lower region of one area should be the higher or upper region of the next area. Yeah, so they should. Yeah, so they should overlap. So in a way, you make sure that anywhere where you are on the fretboard at any time, the next area is near. And also it's easy to go from one area to the next because it's very close. One thing you also have to make sure that when you have all these areas that that's what for me is really like a law, a rule. It should be there that every note on every string of that scale or arpeggio should be in one of these 5, at least in one of these 5 areas. So that I make sure that every note which I can play, for example, of the C major scale on any string, that it is at least in one of these areas, so that every note possible on the fretboard is somehow covered in these 5 areas. Yeah, that's something important. Now, I told you that people made it up. People made areas are not like a nature law or something like for example these strict positions. They are just like that is actually a real strict rule. So they are just a little bit like alternate fingerings with these stretched notes mostly. Which you can consider, but mainly like all places and fingers are all fixed, it's all like about like there's just one kind of right way. So now, how do we come to these 5 areas? That's the question now. And when you follow the lessons here on Guitar Academia with like 3-note structures, with scales and with 4-note structures, you mostly or I mean almost always, you find also these 5 areas for all different kinds, like 43 different 4-note structures. You find all these areas on the how to play these 5 areas on the fretboard, and the same for 3-note structures and for scales, and yeah. So the question is how we come to these areas, and of course you can just trial and error. You know, you can just play a scale and see what is good in the hand, and also in the hand, and what is easy to remember for you, because these are really like these considerations. What you can easily remember, and what is good in for your like body, for the hand, and that's actually very connected. What it's like what you easily can play with your hands is mostly also easily to remember. That's kind of this inner logic, and like that your mind and your body are of course connected. But okay, that's a different story. So now, but you can also have a very systematic approach to that, and that's something I really want to tell you here, because you can find like these 5 areas for everything, for every note combination: 4, 3, 2, 6, 5, 8, 12, 11 note structures, whatever. When I'm searching for these 5 areas, I'm taking a really systematic approach to that, and this approach goes like that. You make a sheet of all the 12 strict positions. So you make these diagrams where you see all the strings and the frets, and you write in every diagram is one strict position. Yeah, you can imagine that, and so these strict positions you will then check. You will really check them. Yeah, you go there and say, okay, C major scale, 4th position. Okay, let's play that. And you check it for what is easy to play. What is easy to play? Where it's really easy, and what's really also easy to remember. Yeah, for long term, that you do not have to practice that too much to really remember this shape. And I would say what I find in this scale now, for me, it's actually just this. And when I found it, I would just circle it. I would circle this note combination, this area, which is really, or this position area excerpt, which is really good, nice and easy to play. That, and I will do that for every of these 12 positions. So when I go to the next position, to the 5th position, and I play the C major scale, and always also consider all alternate fingerings, because I can play the B, I can play with my stretched 1st finger, but I can play the B also 1 string lower on the 4th string with my stretched 4th finger. Yeah, so that's 2 possibilities. So when I'm checking this position, I think almost all in that position is easy and very nice to play. So actually I almost can stay the whole time in that position, and it feels very good. But that is maybe a little bit strange here, the stretch. And then I would just consider everything as playable, as good, as easy. Only this B is a bit off. It's a bit strange. So this whole range from B to the D is not really so great. Maybe the C, D, okay, but the B is a little bit off here. So okay, and I will go through all 12 positions like that, and later on. So first I will just check them, nothing else. I will not decide like finally. I will just decide these are good and easy to play. So later in the second step, I will check and I will see how I can combine all these good easy versions to form areas. So, for example, in this little thing here, I would maybe just go easy, and then I would just branch out my fifth strict position to the fourth, because I found this one, and then I will just go back. Yeah, and of course there's an alternate fingering, which I would maybe also consider, because also this moving out of this position is also some kind of a work, you can say, or maybe it makes it a bit more difficult to remember. It's actually you can just think about that. You can really think about that. What is easier? What is easier for me to remember is this. Here, this B is really far off somewhere in when I'm thinking in this position. Maybe I would not really consider this B. So I have to. This is much easier. This is just, I see the half step here. There are a lot of things you can consider when making up these areas. At the end, you should just be should just find these 5 areas, which and these are really, this is like the straight path, a systematic approach to find out these 5 areas for everything, for anything. Yeah, try it for yourself. Take any arpeggio and really check all these 12 strict positions. Check them for the best of every position, and then try to put them together. You know. So, and then you really, that's a very systematic way, and you also make sure that you didn't forgot certain maybe quite nice ways to play, like little excerpts of that scale in this case, which you just which you just forgot. So I did that many times with all these different arpeggios and scales, so I know what I'm talking about here. So okay, so that's I think you got this idea. Also on the page you might find also some, on the PDF you might find also some other things. But I hope this kind of approach is clear for you. If not, please leave your comments down below, and I will see what I can do if you have like really problems and don't understand, do not really understand that. So we can make that clear. All right, so that's it for the lesson. I hope you like these lessons here on Guitar Academia. Please, if so, press the bell, and before press the subscribe button. So subscribe to this channel, and the bell button will give you notifications when a new video will be released, which is the case on this channel every week. And yeah, also you can donate. Of course, like downloading the PDF is also support. But you can also donate by following the link down in the description below to my Guitar Academia website. It's a page on my website hoophildenbrand.com. There you find a button where you can also donate. And yeah, this would be really cool to go on, and that you get maybe more involved here in this whole process. Would really appreciate that. All right, so thanks for watching. Have a good time. Stay tuned. Bye. My name is Hoop Hildenbrand.